Welcome back, everybody, and today's video is going to be a replay analysis of a professional player playing the new hot support on the market, which is our boy Clinkz. So we're just going to be seeing exactly what he wants to do with his items, what he does in the lane, and generally what he does on the map to see like what this hero's role in the game is. So this is meant to be a crash course, Clinkz for dummies, such as me, because I've never played support Clinkz, to get an idea of why this seems so strong. This is a hero that I've been seeing a lot in my pubs, and that is why I really want to watch a replay on it. So, we got Kataomi from Entity, who did 2-0 Liquid. Spoilers, I apologize. But, that was going to be like 3 days ago after this video, so it's fine. We got Kataomi on Clinkz. So when it comes to starting items, looks like we got a Blightstone. And it also looks like he took his sticky tar bomb thing, level 1. Big note to have about this ability is Clinkz is now a hero that you should always buy a stick against. So, little tip, if you're playing against Clinkz, I've realized very quickly that you should buy stick because he spams this spell. In the past, he would never cast any spells in lane because he just used Searing Arrows to last hit. But now, very good to buy stick. So it looks like he actually overextended a bit here and may struggle against gap closing carries. So maybe that's why Liquid went for this. Like, they went for a Dawnbreaker carry, a little bit of an untraditional carry. But already seeing there that he was trying to trade with the support. And because Clinkz doesn't have Invis till later, and he's also still pretty squishy level 1, gotta be a bit careful of how far up we go. So in this case, he actually goes to the bottom lane when he respawns. So it looks like Kataomi thinks this hero's like a decent ganker. I think this also came down to the fact that the lane was pushing in because of what Liquid did. So that's why he sees this opportunity. But how much does he really help this gank? Oh, a lot of damage, to be honest. Okay. So what's he do now? Game got a little weird. They're going to try lane for a bit. Probably not something you're going to see too much in your pubs, but worth considering since his offlaner is sitting nice and pretty near his tower, right? But now he might want to consider going back top. Let's see what he does, because the off lane's pushing back in. Wow. That was a lot of damage. So he kills himself on tower. Same with Lich, because they used a bunch of resources. Is he going to go back top now? No, he's going to... Yes, no? Yes, he's going to fill bottle, and then... Huh. So he's playing very much like a traditional support, where like he's like basically roaming. It's a bit weird because this hero's pretty low move speed, but because he's roaming, he's going for an early boots. Basically, what I'm seeing is that this hero needs to be a bit careful of getting gone on 2v1, but if he's going on people, what I've experienced, like if I can't threaten Clinkz, this slow plus extra damage is just so much damage. So I'm kind of seeing like really strong and aggressive situations where he's the one cleaning up. We're seeing that here. And really weak if he's the one getting initiated onto. So yeah, definitely seems like a solid roamer, which is really popular in 7.33, just because of the twin gates. So it seems like a strong 1v1 trader. Seems like a strong roamer based on what Kataomi's doing. He went for the 0-2-1 build. I would imagine you don't really level Strafe as support Clinkz. Pretty much just spamming this off cooldown. Even bought a late Blood Grenade as a source of helping him gank, I believe. Because Stick Tar Bomb plus Blood Grenade, that's a pretty good amount of slow. 19% on this, 15% on this. So this time he's being very careful not to get gone on. So much damage that he's doing, actually. I've felt it a lot. So definitely with the item that enables this hero as support. In the past, like way back in the day, Clinkz would go for Desolator. Back when he was like a core that hunted people. But now you're more of a support that's doing the same thing, so you go for a cheaper option that's also meant to amp up the damage from your skellies. Because now you get skeletons when you use Death Pact, you get skeletons when you come out of Skeleton Walk, and this ability amps up their damage. So now Medallion just makes so much sense because the Deso doesn't really help your skeletons nearly as much as the Medallion, because it's just cheaper, and the minus armor is all that really matters. The mana regen also seems pretty nice. So when does he use Death Pact, right? Looks like he's roaming mid to secure runes. I'm almost surprised he doesn't have a wand. Seems like he'd be getting a lot of value out of it. He's actually queuing up a wand later. He even took Strafe. Interesting. So it is 100 attack speed bonus. Maybe the idea is like level 1 strafe is 100 attack speed, also 200 attack range bonus, and it synergizes with the bonus damage from Tar Bomb. Didn't really pay off there, though. Definitely seems squishy AF. Like, if he gets gone on, he's just so squishy. So every time he dies, it seems like he just goes to the off lane, or like his own safe lane. Doesn't do any damage to Vanguard. Noted. Even with Medallion, the damage block is too much. Just doing roaming support things. I can see he's like almost becoming more and more careful with his positioning as the game went on. So how exactly does this spell work, right? So it gives you 175 HP, but no damage anymore. And it's effectively a heal when it gives you the health. It's not, it like gives you 175 max and current health. So he's using it, it seems, for damage. I would have almost thought people would play this like a Mirana, where they eat a creep just for some gold. Where Mirana, like, arrows a creep. But maybe since you have to level Death Pact to level 2 in order to get level 5 creeps, so, like, most of the big creeps are level 5, maybe he thinks it's, like, not worth to use it just for gold. Because it does spawn a skeleton, so he seems to be using it for damage only. Yeah, so it looks like I thought level strafe would strafe would be skipped. But factoring in that you hit for 60 and you have 35 bonus damage from this, I can see how 100 attack speed would be pretty value. Doesn't seem like the most impactful roamer before he gets level 6, though. I will say, like, this hero seems much more obnoxious later once he gets level 6 than he is now. Like, in my games, I usually do decently in lane against Clinkz, but then he becomes much more of a menace later. So it looks like he's going to take some time to get his XP. I'm really shocked that he's not eating creeps for gold. Really wonder why that is. I feel like I'm still going to try that and see if it feels bad. Maybe this is some sort of, like, pro-game specific sort of deal. Blocks his own stack, sadly. Gonna have to keep that in mind. Careful of using Invis and then blocking my own stack. But now he's actually just gonna... That's pretty decent farm rate, to be honest. He used Strafe to farm. He used Tar Bomb on the big creep. Tar Bomb does indeed make your skeletons attack whatever you Tar Bomb. So you don't have to micro them as much. So he's playing, seems like pretty traditional Clinkz. Like, you're a flanking assassin type support, though. Like, you're not a core, you're a support. So, like, he approached the fight by coming from behind, cutting people off. You don't really start fights at all on this hero. So, the interesting thing about Dota is that that's pretty much how Clinkz always played. Like, a fight would start, and then Clinkz would see it, he'd be like over here, and he'd wrap on it from mid lane. And even if Clinkz is support, that fundamental aspect of the way Clinkz likes to play is still the exact same. So we have to consider at 14 minutes, will he do some cool maneuver, Invis, to try to take the opponent Wisdom Rune? That's something I would be considering right now. He's actually just farming an Ancient stack. Okay, so apparently Clinkz can farm Ancient stacks. So he picked up his own Wisdom Rune, and Slark is getting the enemies. So, interestingly enough, Liquid chose to take a fight, and Entity prioritized the Wisdom Runes. I feel like on support, I'm always going to try to prioritize the Wisdom Rune if I can frickin' remember. Something to get in the habit of. So he did go for a Wisdom Rune, just not the one I expected. He's actually maxing out Strafe. Oh, the skeletons gain 50% of the attack speed bonus. I knew they got the bonus range. I didn't know they got the bonus attack speed. Wow. Okay, so that makes sense. That's why we're watching this video, guys, or watching this replay, because that shit sometimes reading is hard. And I know based on your guys' comments that you guys feel the same. Not saying you guys don't know how to read, but based on your answers to questions, you don't know how to read. Tar Bomb bonus damage talent. That seems really nice. He actually just obliterated that support, but died in the process. So we're seeing a ton of damage. So I'd say the treads is a bit weird to me. I don't know if I would go treads, to be honest. This is for 3.5 seconds. This is for 5 seconds. The slow duration from this is 2.5. Okay, so we're kind of all learning together here. He's going Nullifier. Maybe that's specific to Windranger, because you can purge her Windrun. So what I'm basically seeing is you go Solar Crest, and then your next item will most likely be a situational item that helps you threaten heroes. Maybe it's good against Crimson too, but he's not buying Crimson, so it's not that. Let's see if he ends up completing this Nullifier. So oddly enough, he's actually yoinking enemies' farm. Clinkz actually has pretty decent wave clear now with the skeletons spawning from your ultimate. He also uses his Death Pact to help him clear waves. That's important to note. So another fight breaks out. He shows up from the side. But if his team has losing fight, like, he doesn't really do much, right? That's what we're seeing. The last fight right here, his team had the advantage and he wrapped behind and it looked like he had pretty good impact assassinating people. But when his team got initiated onto, he didn't really do anything. So don't try to do too much in losing fights as Clinkz. Pretty standard, like, ranged hero stuff where you're only as strong as the people in front of you. Man, that's so much damage. Wait, how did all that damage come out? So he has the Orb of Destruction, which doesn't work through BKB. Does it? No, it doesn't, because he has 4 armor, 2 armor. Yeah, he doesn't. It doesn't work. It says it does, or like it shows it, but it doesn't work. Dude, those skeletons attack fast. Okay, okay. That's a lot of damage. Not too much armor on Dawnbreaker, though. Man, he's doing a really good job of consistently, like, threatening flanks. Like, look at this. This is so hard to position around. And Insania, like, didn't have a sentry, so he got caught off, too. I think the mere threat of Clinkz is terrifying. And the fact that we're seeing professional players struggle to sentry the ground properly, I think that says even more about how hard it is to deal with Clinkz right now. And let's just take note that this is a support Clinkz with just a Solar Crest. This is a full HP tower at 19 minutes. And he just kills it. So it is important to note that Tar Bomb works on towers. You and your Skelly Bros get the bonus damage on towers. So looks like we got some serious tower damage coming out from Clinkz. Even as support with, like, virtually no items. Wow. Okay. This definitely seems like a hero I can jam with. This seems fun. So I would imagine if you were in a pub after the Solar Crest, you could strongly consider, like, a Phylactery. In my game, a guy went Desolator. I'm thinking, like, mana regen items would be really nice here. If you didn't know what else to buy, like, Veil probably doesn't work, I guess. Veil would work on physical damage. Let's actually test that. $110, $111, $110, and then we need to let this go off. So it was $110. So Veil does not work on the bonus damage from Tar Bomb. I thought that would be a lot since your Skelly Bros also use that damage. I would imagine after Solar Crest, you can build pretty much any utility you want. Auras seem kind of meh because they don't benefit your skeletons. And that is a crucial part of this hero, it looks like, based on his damage output and utility in fights. So a utility item could be Phylactery, because it synergizes with Tar Bomb. I feel like it's Phylactery if you don't need other items. Like, if you don't need anything to survive, or you don't need some item like Lotus, or Yules, or Force Staff, some support item, right? Unless you need something else, I would imagine Phylactery is really nice. Mana regen, buffs up your Tar Bomb, slow and damage. A lot of people have mentioned that one. In this case, he's going Nullifier specifically for the Windranger. So if there's like a Pugna or like a Windranger, it looks like Nullifier is on the menu. I'm going to have to consider that if... Another thing about this is Slark hates buying MKB, and he also doesn't want to buy Nullifier. Slark wants to go like stat items and like items for himself. So if you have a carry who will struggle to stick on targets, then Nullifier is really nice against those targets. So he got the shard from Roche. He didn't buy it. Or from the thing. The Tormentor. He just solo killed a support, spending like half the time running away. Even though Dawnbreaker ultied. So that, I think people are gonna... Okay, we're clearly seeing that professional players are not prepared for how much damage this hero does. So he's like a bounty hunter that doesn't track, doesn't stun, but instead does a ton of damage. That's basically what we're seeing here. I mean, that was... Dude, he literally just killed them. Like, what? He's got no items. Like, he's got freaking 4,000 gold in the bank. Wow. Okay. To be honest, like, I've been playing against Clinkz, and I'm like, man, this guy does so much damage. Skeletons even hit Roche, so just like towers, you do a pretty good amount of damage to Roche. So it looks like Clinkz is really good at securing you objectives if you are allowed to, like, show yourself on a tower or on Roche. Very good at clearing objectives. So let's, like, okay, so he clearly bought the Nullifier for Wind Ranger, so I'm kind of curious to see, like, how does he play fights differently? Like, is he gonna make sure he gets this Nullifier on the Wind Ranger? What's the idea? So this time he's... Yep, there it is. Already paying off. Wow. So they immediately use that to get a kill on the target that he bought it for. Are there any other buffs worth purging? You do purge drums. You do purge, like, Medallion. They're going Crimson. Maybe he's anticipating Crimson. I will say Nullifier feels really strong on any hero that can get away with it. So what I'm seeing about Clinkz that's interesting to me is we talked about a bunch of small items that he can buy, but we also just saw him solo kill people with 4,000 gold saved up, which means he hasn't bought an item, and just a Solar Crest. So clearly with just a Solar Crest, this hero will have impact, which if the hero will have a lot of impact with virtually no items, like you don't have to buy anything past like 14 minutes, that means you can generally look to save up for more expensive items. It doesn't mean you have to, but like that's kind of what I'm seeing. Like if there's an expensive, powerful item like Nullifier or Scythe of Vice or something like that, I think he's carrying this game. So he's going Orchid now. So it looks like he's kind of relying on his own survivability, like by being Invis. I've also noticed that as long as Clinkz comes out of Invis, where his skeletons spawn, he ends up doing like a decent amount in fights anyways. So it looks like he's not really prioritizing keeping himself alive. Like every single item he buys has made him more of a threat. That was the first time we've seen him use Burning Barrage, I believe. But it's still nice for clearing creep waves as support. I'm definitely trying this hero, by the way. Like, this is nuts how much damage he does with just a solar. The laning stage looked a bit awkward, but... just gotta be careful of the 2v1 scenarios early. Because as long as this hero's not getting initiated onto, whether or not it was minute 5 or whether or not it's now, this hero feels very strong. So, for the sake of this video, I just wanted to see, generally speaking, what the Clinkz was aiming to do, and then what items he bought. So I think we have a really good idea. I think anything from here is going to be situational late game stuff, and it's just going to be, no matter how this game turns out, all we're going to see is him looking to flank, him looking to use the items on the hero he countered, in this case Wind Ranger, and overall, like, he is splitting the map a lot, he's been scouting a lot, he's doing a lot of stuff on his own. So in your pubs, maybe this is a great hero to help split push lanes, to help scout for your kill heroes, and also to, like, actually have insane building damage if the opponent's not responding to your push. And something like last game I just played, we had to keep TPing back to our base to stop a support Clinkz from killing our buildings, and we just saw how quickly he kills a tier 1 tower single-handedly with just a solar. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's going to be it for me today. Try out support Clinkz. I think mainly 4, but I'm willing to try 5. I'm a bit worried that you can't play the way he did early game as a 5, but you can more so as a 4. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe.